There'll be could be potentially several possible positive impacts. One is that by definition, you provide levels of consumption to people, to almost everyone, so that they're no longer poor as we know them. Second, I think you also provide people with, a minimum wherewithal with which they can access credit, with which they can invest, and also by guaranteeing them against some of the catastrophes of life. You provide insurance as well. And one of the things, I think it's worth emphasizing about a UBI is that the kind of psychological liberation that you can provide for people. Because, I happen to believe very strongly, and this is something that Mahatma Gandhi intuited, very clearly, that, poverty is not just about material, things. It's about, psychological freedom. And we know from the literature on poverty more and more, the work of Abhijit Banerjee and Esther Duflo, that, getting out of poverty is as much a cognitive, psychological enterprise as it is about, getting more resources and money. And so if you provide UBI, that kind of psychological liberation, the increase in cognitive bandwidth that you can provide, I think that those are some really powerful effects that could happen.
So you'd be giving like a kind of boost to people who are kind of caught in these cycles of poverty,
Exactly,
poverty traps,
exactly.
and giving them the mental space to
Yeah.
think, okay, I can plan a bit, now I've got this kind of cushion.
Yeah.
What do you see as the challenges? I mean, you've talked a little bit about the politics of
Yeah.
it, but what other challenges do you face or do you perceive with rolling out a UBI trial?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is going to be in the short run. Given that it's not a small sum, it could, as I said, 4 to 5% of GDP, and even at the level of the individual states, it could be that much. Then you can't pay for it unless you get rid of something else. I think that's the biggest political challenge now. How do we finance this? What can we politically phase out in order to finance this? I think that's the number one challenge.